Hey everyone, it's Rolend from Team Rival. Thank you guys so much for all the submissions towards coaching/review your gameplay. We actually received so many that it'd be too many for Spencer or Schmiddy to review by themselves, so I offered to lend a hand. And we wanted to get to everyone's gameplay videos, and we didn't want you guys to wait. So we're trying to push them out as soon as possible. I'm even recording this on my iPad, so apologies for any scuffness, and I hope that will be better in the future. So what is this new series? So this new series is called Brilliant or Blunder. Basically, we're going to try to make this more interactive and more fun. So we're going to use these terms brilliant and blunder from chess, which actually describe types of moves. So in chess, when you play a really good move that puts you in a winning position or at an advantage, then it's called a brilliant. If you make a mistake and say you lose a piece, you put yourself in a losing position, then it's called a blunder. So when it comes to IDV, we're going to try to apply these terms, and we're going to say that in the middle of a match, if you make a really good play, a really good decision, it's going to be called a brilliant. And if you make a mistake or you miss an opportunity, then we're going to be calling it a blunder. So for this series, we're going to look at all the submitted gameplay videos that you guys sent us, and we're going to look to see if there's any smart plays, which are going to be brilliant, or any missed opportunities or mistakes, which might be called blunders. And then after we find all those, we're going to include them in our video, let you guys watch the clip, and then try to figure out whether we declared it brilliant or blunder. Some of these will be harder than others. Some of them will be mistakes or good moves that you already know, but others will be a learning experience. And we're going to try to make these decisions, these brilliant or blunder decisions, based solely on the decision making in the match. So we're not going to take into factor things like, technical or mechanical skills, like whether you used the ability in the right direction or you took the shortest path to the enemies, things like that. Also, this is really important. Please remember that in order to improve, whether it's an IDV or just any general thing in life, you have to make mistakes. So when we say we mark your play as a blunder, don't feel bad, because we're simply, calling it out so that people who are watching can learn from it and then improve their IDV skills in the future. And again, so everything is in a draft phase. So we're totally just experimenting, seeing what works. So please let us know in the comments what you think, what worked, what didn't work, and any other suggestions that you have for us in the future. Thank you so much. All right, without further ado, let's head into our first gameplay. All right, so here we go. Our first match is a Night Watch on Leo's memory. I know we kind of jumped right into it. That's just because I want to try this in a sort of shorter clip style, so I don't want to show the whole gameplay. But take note that he got his first down, and the hunter is bringing warp. And they're also checking all the ciphers whenever they can. So here the 3 survivors are decoding, and they're checking all the ciphers, and they decide to warp. Now, I'm going to pause it here. Feel free to rewind if you want, or you missed anything. Was this play, this warp play, a brilliant or blunder? Alright, I'm going to go reveal now, so if you still want time to think, please pause the video. I'll let it keep going, but just know that the outcome of the play, the move, doesn't necessarily determine if it was a brilliant or blunder. So for example, if they start winning, it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed that it was a brilliant, or if they start losing, it doesn't mean it's guaranteed that it was a blunder. But I'm just going to let it play the outcome, see if you guys are curious. But I will declare this move as a brilliant, because if you notice, they checked all the ciphers. They made sure there was no survivor nearby. There was no Tidinus, no survivor nearby that was just waiting to sneak a rescue. So they knew where all the survivors were, and by warping, they were able to directly apply pressure and give themselves a chance to, hit the survivor and then use abilities and get closer to the chair to maybe get 2 hits on the survivor. In this case, it didn't work out that way, but it was still a good move to use warp, get it on cooldown faster, and then make them rescue earlier. Alright, into our next clip. Nightwatch is chairing Composer after having eliminated Prospector. The two of them just healed around Shack, and now let's watch. Alright, based on what you saw, was this, or these set of plays, brilliant or blunder? And now the reveal is that it was brilliant. So he knew where they were coming from, and he saw kind of both of them, both the chord and the puppeteer. He knew the last cipher was here at these two pallets here near Christmas tree. And so when he saw puppeteer kind of taking the long way around to decode, he knew that puppeteer was not going to rescue. So he was directly aimed toward chord, and then after hitting, chord got the rescue. He immediately went to puppeteer, and that's because that is the last cipher. There is a composer down on the ground, so coordinator could heal or try to start a new cipher. But either way, the survivors are running out of time, and all Nightwatch has to do is just try to kill puppeteer on the last cipher. Alright, so here composer's on the ground, still hitting puppeteer, knocks down puppeteer, and then going back to composer who's on the ground. Composer self-heals. And then this. All right, once again, brilliant or blunder? Alright, so this one is going to be a blunder because, I'll let it play again, but focus on what I have to say. The composer just self-healed in his face, so you know composer used his once per match exit path to self-heal. And then, if you notice, chord was nearby. Even if you didn't specifically see the chord, you can use tinnitus to figure out that chord is nearby after composer went down. And now you have a composer who just used self-heal, so they can't get back up on their own. And then a puppeteer who was down a little while ago, but there's no rush to chair puppeteer because even if puppeteer gets up, you can probably get them down again in that area. So your goal here was composer just got up, got down again. Now you want to pressure chord because even if for some reason you spend a while on chord, puppeteer has to use his own self-heal. And then now two people without self-heal, and then you're now, killing or chairing chord. So just remember that whenever someone uses self-heal, that gives you a lot of time as a hunter to figure out, how can I take advantage of the survivor's position? How do I stop them from decoding? Or how do I, start eliminating more survivors? And sometimes it's not about chairing, and sometimes it's about just trying to get them to waste their time. One other thing is, even if you don't see the chord immediately, if you do pick up puppeteer, you could consider dropping him down as soon as you see chord, because again, chord is a higher priority. You're willing to let puppeteer use up their self-heal, because that is something that works in your favor as a hunter. Alright, for match number 2, we have a Dream Witch on Red Church, bringing Blink and Insolence. So we already got the first set on the Dancer. She's used up all her boxes, and now she's trying to get away from the main leech and her own leech. Here we hear that Insolence kick in. So now the hunter has another usage of their first ability, so they can add another leech. Alright, was this brilliant or blunder? Okay, so this one is going to be brilliant, even though it looks like the survivor got away, and they did get some distance. It was more of a mechanical mistake than a disadvantage, because what's important here is you brought insolence, which gives you presence faster or more, and the survivor started kiting towards graveyard with another survivor's decoding. So when those two things happen, every time as a Dream Witch, you gotta use your leech ability and get another leech on the field. Because even if it's not really helping with the first chase, every single leech on the board applies pressure and delays decoding, and also gives you more opportunities for the survivors to mess up. So if I were the hunter, I would best take advantage of this. I would get that leech and then bring my main follower closer using rubber banding, and then blink this dancer. So she did get a little bit of distance, but the decision to go out of the way to leech the graveyard barmaid was still correct and a brilliant move. Okay, so now female dancer is dying on the chair. Patient just healed, and this is actually barmaid's leech. All right. Was that play brilliant or blunder? This one's going to be a blunder. It might be a little harder because I did cut right to it. But first officer saved, right? So he's half health with a watch, doesn't have tide anymore. And now patient was injured and wanted to get a heal from barmaid. But barmaid had a leech on her already. So technically, the Dream Witch could know where barmaid is. And if you put two and two together, you see first officer's decoding because the cipher's shaking. And then you see a half-health patient, and then barmaid, who you should be able to see through the leech. You can figure out that barmaid is probably going to heal patient or first officer, technically. But barmaid is going to be healing one of them. So the rescue is not going to be happening. Or not, like, very unlikely to be happening. And this follower has a blink. Barmaid takes a while to drink. Even if, patient does a good hook and gets away, it's better to pressure than let the drink get off for free. Alright, so female dancer just died on chair. Now Dream Witch is looking for a new target. I'm gonna leech patient here. Okay, were those set of plays brilliant or blunder? So this one's also going to be blunder because, so it's important that the main body is near graveyard and he leeched patient, but then he switched to his leech on barmaid's leech, and then decided to blink a barmaid who he knows already has drinks. So that means, one, she's across the map, so her main body can't get to barmaid easily. And two, she just used her leech ability, so even if she did get over there, she can't re-leech barmaid. So it's basically giving barmaid a good chance of using her drink and getting a heal off without, disturbing Cypher Rush that much. It's still possible to get to barmaid fast enough and try to blink her, kill her before the drink is complete. But that's just, adding too much risk. And there's a good chance that barmaid could, play safe with her window boost, pallet boost, get far enough away to not get blinked until after her heal is complete. And you'll kind of see this happen, although the Dream Witch still does a good job right here, just getting that follower as fast as possible over there. But if you watch, the barmaid kind of just sits and waits for the Dream Witch to roll up. So yeah. Okay, so here we are a little later in the match. Everyone is injured, and this is patient's leech. Now, was this play brilliant or blunder? So again, he does blink and hit with the leech. But this one is actually a brilliant play because everyone is injured, And if you notice, the cipher progress isn't that much. But even if it was more, getting a chair when everyone is injured is way more important than say earlier in the match. And it's definitely worth using up a leech and also a blink. And in this case, this hunter also has blink on their main leech, so they could follow up. Even if first officer gets a decent rescue, they can follow up with another blink and push towards a win. Alright, so the cipher's just popped. Barmaid's pushing to open that gate, and he's chasing a first officer with no item, so should be able to get that down. Patient also has a leech. Once again, brilliant or blunder. So this one's going to be a blunder because while Patient did have a leech when the ciphers popped, Patient was able to pretty much get it all off or deleached on his own without any pressure. Even though he did get first officer down, Patient getting his leech off and he has hooks is kind of dangerous because now Patient now you have to rely on a single follower getting close enough and blinking him. Also, he didn't have to check the gate, to make sure that it was going to be open, which is fine. But as soon as that happens, he needs to know that it's a little less important about securing first officer, and a little more important about maybe getting closer to Patient, figuring out where he's going, and figuring out he's going to go to the open gate, and then if possible, delay that deleaching so that he has enough time to successfully chair first officer and pressure Patient away from the gate. Alright, here we are in a photo match on Sacred, and this photo brought blink and was able to get a first hit on the novelist. Brilliant or blunder? This one should be pretty quick. It is a brilliant. Although Novelist does have a book to use and is able to swap positions with Photographer who can't really do much, this blink here is pretty much perfect because of one important thing. They attacked before they pressed blink. And that's important because if Novelist is fast enough, he can swap positions after you blink. Which could be really, really bad because that would negate that would almost negate the point of blinking. He might be able to get out of the way of the speed booster pallet. But if you attack before blink, like if you press the attack button, and then you blink mid swing, if he cancels it, he's not going to be able to cancel the blink. It would more so cancel the attack. So always attack before your blink. It is a little bit harder technically, but it guarantees that. So if you get stunned or something else, your blink is either gonna land or not be used. All right, so he's got entomologist on chair. Sees that gardener or someone else is nearby. Just gonna take a photo. It's fine. It's still over here. Gardener chooses to get the free save. Gardener goes tie. Brilliant or blunder? This one's going to be a blunder because although he did, hit entomologist right after, one important thing is Gardner saved with Tide. Tide always guarantees you 20 seconds no matter what. So as a fast attack recovery hunter, it might, you might lose a few seconds hitting the gardener, but there's a good chance that you can capture to an entomologist, especially in this state. And entomologist doesn't have bees. and the photographer has blink. So it's hard for her to get away or hide or, lose distance when you spend just 3 seconds, in the attack recovery for Gardener, and then you can catch up to Entomologist. 9 times out of 10, you might be able to kill Entomologist before Tide even ends, therefore you didn't really waste any time. So keep that in mind. If there's a good chance you're going to be able to kill the survivor you're tunneling, the one that was chaired, then getting a hit on the rescuer will make endgame much easier because now the rescuer is injured. Alright, and with that, that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, please leave comments and suggestions and feedback in the comment section down below. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Peace.